in Curaçao, an island country that has some of the most pristine, healthy reef systems in the South Caribbean, and Inkfish has teamed up with a multidisciplinary team of scientists from all around the world to study and survey the coral reef systems here.
During this expedition, we'll be looking at the Mesophotic reef. The Mesophotic zone is where light starts to dissipate, but there's still enough light to sustain an ecosystem. Our reef systems don't live in isolation of each other. What's happening in the Mesophotic zone is influencing the shallow water reef systems.
What I think is especially neat with this expedition is that we have very different expertises working together. And so we're doing the photogrammetry, looking mostly at the benthic community, but then we have people deploying cameras, looking at the fish community, we're looking at the urchins on the seafloor, we have physical oceanographers actually trying to figure out what's happening in the water column and how that is affecting the biological communities. We have the marine robolicists on board as well, so it's a very wide range of different expertise, but all working together on this common goal of trying to understand this ecosystem. Photogrammetry is a method that basically allows us to take hundreds of overlapping photos and create a 3D model. We repeat these 3D reconstructions over time, allowing us to go forward and backward in time to see what's happening with individual corals and the reef as a whole.
We're looking for 3 species that have been recently listed as critically endangered. So with this project, we want to have a sense of how those populations are doing, how diverse they are, how they reproduce, and how can we use that information to design plans to conserve and manage these species.
We'll be using the floats, which are a simple form of autonomous underwater vehicle, or AUV. These AUVs are used to take images of the seafloor with the end goal of creating maps of the seafloor habitats.
Topside, CR3, permission to vent our decks?
Heading 297, you have permission to vent your decks.
Wow. So we just hit the bottom at 820 meters on my first ever sub dive. There are so many things to look at down here, which is kind of surprising given the perception most people have of these kinds of depths. Absolutely phenomenal experience. The number of different organisms we encountered along the way was actually quite mind-blowing, something I definitely did not expect. Oh, wow. Getting that experience today has really opened my eyes to the possibilities that these sorts of platforms allow and the kind of research that we might be able to do from them.
A CTD measures conductivity, temperature and depth, and so we're getting lots and lots of profiles to try and understand some of the biophysics at the different sites that all of the team are working at.
With the data, we can use that to answer questions like how species richness changes, how fish assemblages vary across the depth gradient. So we can use the length to estimate biomass of different sites along the island. We can also look at how these communities vary with latitude as well.
We're deploying these quad units every day. The number of grazers on a reef often determines the general health of the reef, so whether it's likely to remain in that coral-dominated state or revert to a macroalgal-dominated state, which is seen as less desirable, less valuable for tropical seas like Curaçao.
There is this pretty devastating coral disease called stony coral tissue loss disease, which was originally discovered in Florida, and it's gradually been working its way through the Caribbean. And so there's been very recent reports that this disease now also is occurring in Curaçao. So it's very important now for us to actually establish a baseline, do these surveys, so that we can follow over time how this disease is moving from location to location.
Inkfish has allowed us to have conversations with different disciplines. By connecting this range of disciplines, we're able to think about some of the holistic questions for ecosystems and then also ecosystems management for local communities.
We're over the moon with what we've been able to get done this expedition. We've worked across 7 different locations on the island. We have 3,400 square meter plots that we've been able to re-image. We sampled 576 coral colonies. So we got a lot of stuff done and we're incredibly excited.